Oh no, Okeanos is great. But wait, quick question. Have we found our 5th craft essence pick yet? Yes, I'm still asking. It's been weeks. Yeah, fine. No, it's fine. I'll just move on until we find it. Okay? Alright. Wait, are we recording? Oh shit! One of the most wonderful feelings in this game is finally being able to pull off a noble phantasm. Oh, it's so beautiful. The key to getting noble phantasms quickly are arts cards, and I'm here to tell you how to set up the—
Wait just a minute.
DaVinci? What are you doing here?
I saw your quick team video, and I won't allow you to deliver anything less than a perfect explanation of the arts.
Well, I mean, look, DaVinci, I know you were a fantastic artist in your day, but, this is kind of my job.
Remember, Musaki, I can raise the prices in my shop so high that you will never get those precious summon tickets of yours ever again.
Oh, what are we waiting for? Let's, talk about our teams, DaVinci.
I thought so.
Welcome, fellow masters. My name is Misaki from Chaldea Gurus with DaVinci, and this is How to Set Up Your Team, Arts Edition.
Jack, I want you to draw me like one of your French girls.
There are a few things to know when crafting an arts-based team. Noble Phantasm gained. Healing.
Buffs and debuffs. And stacking effects.
What's Noble Phantasm gain? While healing is self-explanatory, Noble Phantasm gain is deceptively not. Noble Phantasm gain is the amount of Noble Phantasm gauge you receive upon attacking and being attacked. The value of the gain times the amount of hits and effectiveness of arts-based attacks determines how much of your gauge returns to you. What about buffs and debuffs? Like the Great Pater said, buffs and debuffs are inherent traits to those fitting an arts team build. A buff in Fate Grand Order is effect like increasing one's attack or critical star generation.
Or increase Noble Phantasm gain.
That's right. As for debuffs, you'll mostly see things like stun or poison. This is good for arts teams because they usually lack in physical power and need time to set up.
A good way to do this is by stacking effects.
Tell me about stacking effects. Well, whether they're buffs or debuffs, stacking them on your allies or enemies will only be in your benefit. For example, if Arturia here uses her charisma skill to increase the attack of her party, Uchiwa Kamaro can also do the same, and now you'll hit a lot harder than you would have before. Another thing to note for stacking effects, getting 3 arts cards in a row will give the entire team 20% for their Noble Phantasm gauge. That is a large start and a good way to start off a chain, so keep this in mind. And speaking of stacking effects, you can also do the same for your Noble Phantasms. For certain arts teams build, you can continuously spam your Noble Phantasm over and over and over until the cows come home. Seriously, the uses of skills to raise your Noble Phantasm gauge, the fact that certain Noble Phantasms can actually recover an amount of gauge. Once again, Arturia. Her Noble Phantasm Excalibur returns 20% of her Noble Phantasm gauge. That is not a slouch, that's something. Medea can do even more. So stacking effects is very important, and something you should look forward to in an arts-based team. While you may love the idea of a dedicated arts team and spamming your Noble Phantasms until the end of time, you may not know what servants are best for it. Say no more, we've got you covered.
Let's start with defensive servants.
I would be remiss if I did not mention Mashu Kirilite when talking about defensive arts servant.
Who? Me?
Yes, you, Mashu. Mashu is given by default to you at the beginning of the game, and while you may be tempted to play other servers above her,
how dare you!
Her free AP costs and skills make her perfect for a defensive arts team. She takes neutral damage from all servant classes, has a skill that increases defenses for all allies, as well as a skill that gives invincibility to any ally on the field. Get this, it also gives a percentage of Noble Phantasm gauge. The one and only shielder is quite amazing indeed. The Queen of Britannia has more than just plot armor on her side. Her need to protect those under her care shows in her skill set. Her noble phantasm, Chariot of Boudica, increases defense for all allies for 3 turns, and an additional shield for herself. Not only that, but a skill she will get further down the line increases art card effectiveness for all allies for 3 turns. All of this combined with battle continuation and a small bonus against Roman servants, and she is an all-star. All hail the Queen. Saint Martha fits this role quite well, but not in the manner you may think. All of her skills have to do with either debuff resistance or removing debuffs entirely. Not only that, but she can heal the whole party and herself, but also being able to lower the defense of an enemy, as well as remove any buffs they have. It's no wonder that this saint can defeat a dragon's prayers alone. And by prayers, I mean her fists. Seriously. However, Arts is not all about defense. As mentioned before, debuffs are a full-on option as well. On the other side of the spectrum, we once again look at Hans Christian Andersen. Despite his appearance as a potential servant for quick teams, he thrives in an Arts team. His skills are phenomenal and only get better once it's leveled up. Not only that, but he buffs the entire team with his noble phantasm. Don't judge this servant by his rarity, for he's good at any stage in the game. Our perverted musician also makes this section. His melodies are deadly to his foes, and his noble phantasm is quite helpful on setting up a high damage dealing attack. His skills are also very supportive. Do not sleep on Mozart. This guy. No. This girl. Hey, what gender do I refer to them as? I don't want to make anyone upset.
They have none.
What?
Looks can be deceiving.
Indeed. In any case, what Dion brings to the table is interesting to say the least. Evasion is a good skill for any servant to have, but not only can they remove debuffs from themselves, they can also draw enemy fire for 3 turns. Their noble phantasm also decreases the attack and defense to the enemy team for 2 turns with a chance of charming them when overcharged. A beautiful lily with hidden artistic value. The debuffs and defensive skills are all well and good, but what about damage dealers? Well, Saint Martha could fit this section as well, but I feel there are a few others who fit this section better.
Like Medea.
Yeah, like... Wait, huh?
Medea may look harmless, but her skills are insanely good. Her noble phantasm, when overcharged, can refill her noble phantasm gauge with each use. Her damage output comes from the fact that she'll just hit you with Rule Breaker over and over again until you're dead.
That's pretty much cheating.
The name is fitting for that reason.
Speaking of rule breaking, Robin Hood is very good at damage output, thanks in no small part to his debuffs. Why is he here instead of the debuff section?
We've run the numbers, and thanks to a very helpful graph you can find online, we can show you. Granted, this is against a saber-class enemy, but it still is more than enough to prove our point.
Links in the description.
According to this graph, a fully charged Noble Phantasm from Robin Hood at 500% overcharge deals this much.
Yeah, the numbers speak for themselves. For a 3-star servant, he's a very good archer. Just ask this servant. Behold, commoners! The glorious 5th Emperor of Rome, Nero Claudius, shall aid you in your quest for damage in your artistic ventures.
How interesting. You seem to like Nero quite a bit.
Yeah. Nero will bring the pain for your arch team while providing the arch cards needed for that 20% Noble Phantasm gauge. Her skill mainly focuses on her own survivability, so in that regard she is not a team player. Her Noble Phantasm hits the entire enemy team very hard. Praise the Artistic Emperor. For those of you with EX luck, or the whales of the community, first off, hello. We appreciate you.
Thank the whales.
Yes, thank the whales. Second off, these servants are for you. You may be familiar with this face if you play Fate Great Order for a while. He's popular enough that many players will actually dedicate their time to re-rolling accounts until they're lucky enough to have him in their company. His skills can increase attack, defense, and Noble Phantasm gauge with ease. His Noble Phantasm itself gives a bevy of debuffs, poison, stun, draining MP gauge, etc. It's stellar in literally any situation. But moving on, a rarity among Berserkers, Vlad fits well into an arch team as a main damage dealer and has plenty of defensive skills to help keep himself alive. Invest into him, he'll get both defensive increases and the skill battle continuation to keep him alive as he releases the Noble Phantasm from an enemy. Continue to do this, use his specialty more often, and nuke down a single target. If you're just starting out, or if you watch Fate Apocrypha, you'll be familiar with her from the start as the one who will get you through almost anything alive. The Holy Maiden herself is ideal for keeping death at bay. She does have bad side effects of being stunned after her Noble Phantasm, but in a pinch, she'll make sure to save the day. Now moving on to limited... Wait, Orion's not limited anymore? Woohoo! Orion should only be used in an arts team. Her Noble Phantasm gain is not that great, and she does not fit very well in quick or buster teams. If you pulled Artemis and her lover, make sure to use them wisely.
And the most wonderful of all servants, myself. Naturally. However, it will take more than a brief foray into Okeanos for me to become available, so these should be fitting alternatives in the meantime.
You're such a tease. But it is, of course, very possible to run a very solid arts team without any of these 5 stars. More importantly, for a new section, craft essences for arts team.
There are 3 priorities you should consider when picking craft essence. Strength of arts, Noble Phantasm gain, and Noble Phantasm strength. But make sure that those are set to your damage dealers.
Nero!
Kaleidoscope is wonderful, but it's not as impactful for long fights, since you should be gaining so much NP anyway. But it is good to start off a chain of Noble Phantasms.
Angel Song and Heaven's Feel can be used for a Noble Phantasm damage. Azure Black Keys for total art buffs. Yes, these things are useful. Divine Banquet and Sorcery Ore for Noble Phantasm gain, and Prisma Cosmos increases Noble Phantasm gauge each turn, which so far is a rare effect. Now for which team compositions we recommend? Give these a try and customize as you wish. Hans Christian Andersen, Mashu Kirillite, Medea, Amadeus Wolfgang Mozart, Boudica, Robin Hood, Zhuge Liang, Vlad III, Nero Claudius.
Personally, I'd go with a team like this.
Jean d'Arc for defense, Emiya for damage, and Dion for debuffs. Pretty strong team there.
Of course.
TLDR, for defense you want Mashu, Jean, and Boudica. For buffs you want Hans and Mozart. For debuffs, Zhuge Liang and Dion. And for damage, Medea, Robin, Vlad, Nero, Emiya, and Orion. Okay, I think that about does it. Was that satisfactory for you, DaVinci?
It'll do for now. I expect to follow up in the future, alright?
Sure. I'm Musaki from Chaldea Gurus. Log it out.
Thank you for watching the video, Senpai. If you liked it, please leave a like or a comment. Subscribe if you want to see more, and make sure you ring the bell to be notified when we upload another video. Thank you again for watching Chaldea Gurus. Good luck and fight hard, Senpai.